We are live. Well, welcome Las Vegas. Welcome the world to Winston's Comedy Kitchen. My name is Elliot Hitchcock. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, live to I asked me not to say she's the star. A host of Winston's. How can you not be the star? Winston. Anyway, it's Winston's Comedy Kitchen. Let's bring her live. Ladies and gentlemen, Winston.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. Thank you again for such a lovely intro. Before we get started with all our wonderful guests, I decided that I was going to actually cook something to show everybody that I really can cook. But this, there's no cooking, it's just assembling. It's one of the best appetizers you'll ever have. And, oh, by the way, I'm not a magician, and I am not a comic, but everybody else on the show is. So, this is what we do. We take the skewer, okay, a little short skewer, put on one of these little fabulous mozzarella balls, like so. Then you add a tomato, like so. Then a piece of parsley, which I'm very proud of. It's out of my garden. Alrighty. Then we just repeat with the cheese, with the tomato. A good project for you to get your children to do. And another little piece of basil. Then, as you can see right here, I actually have some already pre-made, so we don't waste time there. And we put it in a dish. We take a reduced balsamic vinegar. And to reduce the balsamic vinegar, you just literally put the vinegar into a pan. And you cook it very, very, very slowly. Continue to stir. You cook it for a very, very long time. I would suggest using a high-quality vinegar. It just tastes better. I got this balsamic vinegar at World Market. I really like their products. They're high quality and their staff knows their business. So we take a little bit of the reduced balsamic, drizzle it fancy all over, and then you're done. That's it. Okay. Nice appetizer, very tasty, very easy to do. So I think, well, no more about me or about what I'm cooking. I think it's time to introduce our guest for the day. Our first guest is somebody that actually is the king of afternoon comedy here in Las Vegas, Mr. Matt King.
Oh, hey!
Hey! I'm doing good.
I thought I was later in the show. It's a good thing I got all dressed up in my PJs.
Well, this is just the intros. We're going to come back.
I'm not cooking till later.
You're going to cook later.
Okay.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure that you're here. Our next fabulous entertainer and cook today is Mr. Michael Goudreau.
Hi, Winston. How's it going? I can't hear you right now, but just so you know, I made a pancake with your name on it, so you're set for the show. I'm going to teach how to do that a little later on.
Evening gown. How's it going?
Good. You look lovely.
Thank you so much. Ready to cook you guys today?
Oh, this is just really fun. So many wonderful, talented people around me. So we're going to see you in a little bit when
Sounds
you're
good.
cooking one of your Epicurean delights. So, okay, Mike Jones, see you in a little bit. Person.
The Epicurean Challenge, as we call it.
You look stunning. Today, for a few years, there has been at sea quite a lot from Mr. Neck to Feet, to Fat, to Float. You pronounce your name.
Turn that off. Hey.
Oh my God, what are you doing now? Okay, we'll come back to you when you're ready. Okay, bye.
Bye.
We were pulling out, and it does say, Fielding West.
Oh, yay! Fielding West, going to start us off. Okay, Fielding, you ready?
Let's go back.
Yeah, I'm ready.
There's Fielding.
Okay.
Hey, guys.
So,
You ready for something
we're
special
ready
today?
for you, Robin. The stage is yours.
Well, I'll tell you what. Welcome to my kitchen, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to make you some peanut brittle, Southern-style peanut brittle, and I'm going to show you 3 different types of peanut brittle that we're going to make today. So I think you're going to get a big kick out of this. And I'm going to do the entire process in a microwave in just around 8 minutes.
Wow.
So we're going to get started right now. You're going to need a microwavable bowl, and all you need is 1 cup of sugar. And I'm going to dump a cup of sugar in here right now. And then I'm going to put half a cup of Cairo syrup. Now this Cairo syrup from Cairo, Georgia. There you go. You know this stuff is about super sweet. So we're going to put half a cup in here, and then I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes. That 3 minutes is going to allow it to turn into molten lava. So here we go with the Cairo syrup, and that's right at 1/2 a cup right there. This is going to take forever to come out of there, so I'm going to give it a little help. There we go. Now this entire process, I'm going to stir this in so I can mix that sugar with that Cairo syrup. This will also help it melt better when it goes into the microwave. Now that I've got this a good start on it, we're going to put it in the microwave for 3 minutes.
Feeling. Hello.
What?
Hello.
Yeah?
We get to press the bottom half of ourselves.
What happened?
We have no pants on.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I don't cook with my pants on. But just for you, Winston, I'm going to put them back on right now.
Oh, hell, honey, not for me. It's okay.
I forgot. I thought I was ready to cook today. Okay, 3 minutes on the microwave.
All right, 3 minutes on the microwave.
So this is going to take 3 minutes to cook. Then we're going to add 1 cup of peanuts. Now I told you that I have 3 different types of peanut brittle to make today. The first is the traditional with the peanuts. The kind of peanuts that we're going to be using for this are going to be the lightly roasted salted peanuts. Now you don't have to use this particular brand. This is what I grabbed at the store the other day. So we're going to add that 1 cup of peanuts, and we're going to dump this in, stir it around with this molten lava. Now I tell you, when this comes out, it's going to be incredibly hot. So I'm going to have to use my alligator. Hi everybody, how you all doing? Okay,
Safety first.
Yeah, safety first. So once I add those peanuts, we're going to stir that back into the mix, put it back in the microwave for 3 minutes. That'll be a total of 6 cooking minutes so far. Then after that goes a tablespoon of butter, and a teaspoon of butter and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now you're going to see me dump this stuff in because I don't believe that you can put too much vanilla extract in anything. And the butter's going to give it a nice flavor. So this is going to be great. All we're waiting for right now is that microwave, 3 minute increments. Once I put the butter and the vanilla extract in, that goes for 2 minutes. And then the big secret, and this is it right here, this is the chemistry that makes peanut brittle brittle, and that's baking soda. So we're going to put 1 teaspoon of this in there. I'm going to stir it around, and then I'm going to pour it onto a tray. It's going to go onto this tray for 20 minutes. But this whole process will take 8 minutes to make, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. It's going to be an amazing flavor. Now, when I said I have 2 different types, we have a thing in the South. One of my girlfriends, my girlfriend Jean Quinn from Albany, Georgia, it showed me how to make peanut brittle with pecans. So you can substitute the peanuts, put pecans in, and you get a whole different flavor. Now the kicker to all of this stuff is some of my friends that live in the South also like a little cayenne pepper. So half a teaspoon of this will just brighten up that taste and make it nice and spicy. So you get spicy peanut brittle, you get southern style peanut brittle with pecans, and then we have traditional peanut brittle, which I'm making today with the peanuts. Hey, we're just about there, I think.
So you call them pecans or pecans?
Well, they're Dixie pecans if you want to do that. But when I left the South, I kind of left the accent there too. Every once in a while, it'll crawl out of me after a drink or two, but but it's pecans.
Okay.
The biggest pecan orchards in Georgia are south of Albany, Georgia, between Albany and Thomasville. Up here we go.
Okay. Now this is just the first 3 minutes, correct?
This is the first 3 minutes. You see how that's bubbling there? So I'm going to stir this around a little bit more. See, look at that, it's like molten lava down in there. And now if we take our peanuts, we're going to dump an entire cup of peanuts in there. I'm going to stir these around. Boy, doesn't that look good. You're not going to believe the taste of this stuff when we get done.
Yeah, I wish I was going to get to taste it.
Let me get this off of here because that's like molten lava. I'm going to get my mittens back on so I don't get burned. And we're going back for another 3 minutes into the microwave. Here we go. Now I got started cooking when I was going to high school and college in South Georgia. I went to high school in Albany, Georgia. And I went to college in Valdosta, Georgia. Valdosta State College is now Valdosta State University. You can't live in the South and not learn how to cook. And that's traditional foods, traditional Southern style cooking. Greens, collard greens, mashed potatoes, pies, pecan pies. I mean, I remember being in the kitchen, taking cooking classes in high school, home ec. And also when I got to college, I started hanging out and started cooking during the summers. So I started off as a short order guy. Never worked any fast food places, but always worked in the back of a kitchen until I worked my way up so I could work with the chefs. And that was my background in cooking. So I did not graduate from a French culinary cooking school, but I did graduate from the what I call Redneck University of Cooking. So Winston, do you have any questions so far on any of the process or anything that I've done here?
I don't, but maybe some of our viewers out there do. You're expressing this very well. You look like a pro.
Well, the next thing that's going to happen when this comes out, we're going to put the butter in and we're going to put the vanilla extract. So I'm going to prepare that right now so this process will go by very quickly. And I'm just going to dump some in there. I don't usually measure this. I just get a knife. I get some butter ready. That's about what I'm going to dump in there. That's a little more than a teaspoon, but that's what I want to put in there. And then I'm just going to dump the vanilla extract in. Oh, you cannot put enough of this in. Hey, kitty, my cats are coming out. Show them. My cats want to have some peanut brittle also. All righty, kids, let's see what we got going on here. We got just another minute left on that, and then I'm going to pick up the process here.
Your kitchen must smell awesome right now.
Oh, you have, Winston, you hit it right on the head because the smell of that Karo syrup and sugar, along with the peanuts, is just the aroma in here right now is like, wow. So it's like a candy factory. And when this gets poured out, in fact, I'm going to prepare this.
Well, you do sort of look like Willy Wonka.
There you go. I feel like it too. Okay, so I use a little Pam on this. It's butter flavored. What this is going to do is it's going to keep that stuff from sticking. So
Nice.
everything goes into this in just a minute. Alrighty, let me take a look. See here. Oh yeah, we're ready.
Has everybody else on the show gone home?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. Now let's get this. Let's get some. And we're going to pour some vanilla extract in there. And I'm going to start.
Yeah,
Look at that.
You look so natural there. You look great.
Doesn't this look fantastic? Look at this. Look at this process. And notice the whole thing is starting to turn brown. Part of that's from the vanilla extract and part of that's from the butter. But look at this. Now we go for 2 minutes with this little conglomeration and then we're done. So this is the last 2 minutes. We're going right back into the microwave. We're going to hit 2 minutes and we're going to be there. Now remember, I told you some of my friends like this a little spicy. And if you want it spicy, we'll give you a little bit of entertainment while we're waiting here.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, baby.
I'm going to light my fire.
Yeah, well, I got to do something for 2 minutes here. I want to thank all of my friends that are watching this right now, from Valdosta, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, and Albany, Georgia. Thank you all, because all of them have had some influence on all of my cooking all of my life. Now, basically, all right, here we go.
Are you guys able to hear me?
I am.
Can you see that color?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I've literally, oh, now I've got to add, we got to put the final touches on this.
And I'm sorry, Fielding, I must have blinked, but on the Carol's, you use light or dark?
Actually, I'm using light, but you see how dark it's gotten?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, this is the awkward part.
Yes.
I've got to get that out of there before it completely freezes up and stays. Let me get these mittens on here. Okay. Let me get the rest of this. Grab this thing. Here we go. I'm gonna do it like this. Come around on this side. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how microwavable peanut brittle is made. And this is what it looks like. Look at that, rich, chocolate covered. And this is what happens when you keep cooking that Karo syrup. It darkens up.
That's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? Now
Yep.
this will take approximately 20 minutes, and I'm going to
Did your
smooth it
glove
out
just
just a
stick to
little.
the bowl?
Pardon?
Did your glove just stick to the bowl?
My glove is stuck to the bowl. This is it, kids. How's that look? That's my little contribution to your show today. Thank you. My name is Fielding West, and in 20 minutes we're going to enjoy some nice homemade microwavable peanut brittle.
I don't know. I might have to drive by your house and get a piece today.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah, and hold on. I need to get out of my bathrobe.
There.
Yeah, out of the bathrobe, because it's a little crazy over here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, out of the bathrobe, and also got to get out of my slumber here. So yeah, so I'm all ready. So
All right.
I hope to be able to join you up next time for the next time we do the kitchen. So have a great time cooking. I can't wait to try Fielding's peanut brittle. That looks fantastic.
That looks yummy. Oh my gosh.
It does. It looks great. But I'll talk with you guys soon.
Okay, you take care of yourself, babe. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very nice, very nice. So I've saved my little hors d'oeuvre. I have nothing else to cook in the kitchen with you. However, later I am going to do the pancake art with Mr. Goudot. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this now, since he will share with us when he's up. He has a book out on making pancake art. And I have not had the pleasure yet to see it, but I understand from other people that it's a wonderful book, very family friendly, and it's a great way to get your kids involved in the kitchen and get involved in cooking. And there's many ways to enhance pancakes. You can put chocolate chips in them, you can put little sprinkles on them, you can put a lot of different things into your pancakes to make it a little bit different. Some pecans or some pecans, whichever way you're going to pronounce it, or some walnuts. But anyway, he's going to show us how to do some art, and I'm very excited about that. And if you're planning on joining us with that, you need to have a squirt bottle. I used a mustard bottle. Yes, I had to empty all of the mustard to get to the bottle because I couldn't find just a regular squirt bottle. But we need a squirt bottle, and you need some pancake batter already mixed up with no lumps. And I didn't really quite understand that until I filled up the squirt bottle and realized the hole at the top is very small, so you really can't have any lumps, and I'm really hoping I don't have any in mine. So that should be terribly fun. I'm always into learning some new stuff. So, Itch, we ready to draw a name?
I guess we are. Well, I've got almost the connection here. I'm reaching into the magical hat, and the magical hat is calling for a Mac King if he happens to be nearby. Does Mac King happen to be nearby? Mac King happens to be nearby.
And garlic. And to do this, you need a head of cauliflower. I have mostly cut my cauliflower up already, so I'll just go through the ingredients real quick. You need a head of cauliflower, a slice of bread, 4 tablespoons or so of olive oil, some salt and pepper, a couple of cloves of garlic, a lemon to get some lemon zest and some lemon juice, and some parsley, and a 12-inch skillet with a lid. That's the, I'm looking at my
recipe.
Yeah. So let's see, what else we got here? I'm going to cook some stuff. So I mostly already cut up the cauliflower. The way I did that is I cut it into, took all the leaves off, cut it into about 1-inch slices from the top. Just set it, like this.
Oh.
Cut it into 100 slices.
So you're not breaking off the florets?
Not breaking off the florets because what you want now, I'm going to cut out most of the stem here, and because what you want is as many flat surfaces as you can have on there, because those are what's going to get all charry, grilled, sort of grilled up. So, cut up your cauliflower, then you take your slice of bread and break it up into 1-inch squares. Oh, you also need a food processor of some sort, and you dump those down into the food processor. I'm out of frame here a little bit, but you process that until you get some breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And I'll do a little more. You can use white bread, wheat bread. This is wheat bread. And so that's good. You dump those into your skillet with about a tablespoon of olive oil, which I should have put in first. So you put in your tablespoon of olive oil, and I just kind of smear it around so that the skillet is coated in olive oil. And then you dump your breadcrumbs in. Goes on about medium high. And let's see. And you kind of toss that around. There's a couple of, I didn't pulse it quite long enough, but you cook it up on that medium-high heat, toast those breadcrumbs, and you can see these are quite a bit darker. These are ones I just did a few minutes ago. So as they're cooking, you kind of, you want to toss those around so that they get nice and toasty. Those are your breadcrumbs. You put them in a bowl.
Okay.
So you got a little bowl of breadcrumbs that you're saving for later.
Alrighty.
Wipe out your skillet. You don't need to rinse, you don't need to wash it, just get those breadcrumbs out of there so they don't burn. Then you put in 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil and your cauliflower. And
is it true that you're a trained chef?
it's not really true.
Okay.
I have cooked in a really fancy restaurant. I'm joking, RB's call. Wouldn't this be funny if this was my last performance?
Well, no, but I'm so glad I waited until you had something in your mouth to ask you a question.
Yeah. I have a really bad habit of eating a lot while I cook.
Oh, me too.
I worked in a restaurant, in a really fancy restaurant as a chef, but I don't have any formal training other than what the main guy there taught me. I was 17, 18, 19 years old.
Also, you had a good mentor.
Yeah, he was amazing. Ed Garber was his name, and he owned a restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky called 610 Magnolia, which now he sold to Edward Lee, who's like a big TV chef.
Yeah.
That restaurant still exists, but it's not owned by the Ed that I work for. It's owned by a different Ed. So you put about a tablespoon of salt on there too. I mean a teaspoon, sorry. That's a big difference.
Big difference.
And then some pepper, about... Oh, and I should have mentioned in the breadcrumbs, you put some salt and pepper too.
Okay.
All right. So you salt and pepper the cauliflower and olive oil. You stir it up so that you mix it up really good, so that cauliflower is all coated with the olive oil, salt, and pepper. Put a lid on it and turn it on medium-high or so.
Okay.
And you let that cook for 5 minutes. Do not lift that lid up.
Okay.
You're going to want to look and go, oh, I wonder how it's doing. Don't do it. Because it's not just charring the cauliflower where it's touching the skillet, it's also steaming the cauliflower in that olive oil and the natural moisture that resides in cauliflower. So you do that for about 5 minutes. Not about 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then do not lift the lid. And so then, once you do that, when you take the lid off, it's going to look like that.
Oh, yum, 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 yum,
Yeah.
yum.
So it's got some, you can see on the bottom it's charred a little bit, and it's quite a bit more yellow in color, a little browner all over. So now, so that's after 5 minutes. Take the lid off, you're still at medium-high heat. And now you set another timer. Set a timer for 2 minutes. So you set another timer for 2 minutes. And you let it sit. After you've kind of mixed it up, you want to get as many brown parts on the top now.
Right.
Because you're trying to brown it all over now.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah. So you set a timer for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes, and you don't touch it.
Right.
After 2 minutes, you shake it up again, stir it up again, getting as many brown parts up as you can. And then you set another timer for 2 minutes, and you do that 5 times. So you're gonna let it sit for 2 minutes 5 times, so 10 minutes total.
Okay.
Then when you do that,
Math is involved.
it's going to look like that.
Wow.
When you're done with 10 more minutes.
Yum,
Right.
yum, yum.
Yeah, it's really good. But you're now. I'm going to let that get warmed up again because it's been sitting. And I'm going to. This is full of Kentucky bourbon.
Excellent.
Because
Yours,
it's
right?
12:30 afternoon. That's iced tea. I'm from Kentucky. We drink iced tea. So after that 10 minutes, 2 minutes at a time, now you move all that cauliflower. See, it's all nice and charred. You move it to the edges of the skillet. And you put in a couple of more. I'm just looking at my cue cards, make sure I don't forget anything. While you're doing all that, by the way, while you're doing your 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, you take that opportunity to chop up some parsley.
Okay.
So there's that 2 minute timer, but we don't need it. Chop up, and you want to end up with about 1/4 cup of finely chopped parsley. And you also want to, while you're doing that 10-minute cooking, zest 1 lemon. If you don't have one of these cool zester things, you can chop off a tiny little bit of the peel and just really, chop it up really fine. So you get tiny little bits of lemon if you want. If you don't have a zester. But anyway, you want the zest from 1 lemon. Once you get that cauliflower sort of scooted to the edge of the pan, you put in another tablespoon or so, maybe a little more of olive oil. and you're going to put some garlic in there, like 2 cloves of garlic. And you can either mince it up, or you can use a garlic press. I like a garlic press, but some people don't like that. So a couple of garlic, a couple of cloves worth of garlic go in the center. Into that oil in the middle of the cauliflower, and lemon zest. So this is just lemon, garlic, and cauliflower with little parsley and breadcrumbs later. Anyway, you're going to cook that garlic about 30 seconds with the lemon in the middle there, just to get it fragrant. I wish you could smell this. Pretty amazing. And so you cook that about 30 seconds. Then you mix it all together. So you're coating that garlic, or coating that cauliflower with the garlic, olive oil, lemon zest. Smells really amazing. See, it's all charred up really good. The consistency is pretty soft.
Oh, looks great.
Now you cook this. Let's see, what do I say? You cook it like 2 minutes more. So you got your, set a timer for 2 minutes. And you let it sit for 2 more minutes with that garlic and lemon in there. And if you haven't finished chopping up your parsley or
Garlic, lemon zest?
Yeah, no, that's it. You already did that. If you haven't finished chopping up your parsley, you do that. You can do that now during this 2 minutes. And you'll need a plate.
How do you chop up your parsley? Do you use a knife?
Say again now?
Do you use a knife to chop up?
Yeah, I just chop it up really fine. You pull off just the leafy part. And this pepper shaker, by the way, was made for me by Lupe Nielsen.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Oh, and I forgot to say that when you're putting the lemon zest and the thing in there, if you want, you can add Reese's Pieces. No, you probably shouldn't.
Okay. Sorry.
But you can add anchovy paste or capers, anything that if you want, red pepper flakes. So I just chop up the parsley, the leaves of the parsley, wash it, dry it up, chop it up, fine. So there's that. So, let's see, this is still, did I not set a timer for 2 minutes? Anyway, this is cooking for 2 more minutes. Once you mix the cauliflower with the lemon and garlic, cook it for 2 more minutes.
Matt, I want to show you a tool I have, an instrument, I guess I should say. It is great to chop up parsley. It's got multiple blades on it.
Oh, one of those roundy things?
Yeah, and you just go back and forth and back and forth.
Yep.
I love that because I make tabbouleh a lot.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best way.
Oh, that's like rotary.
Oh, it's so fabulous. And then it just comes apart and it cleans real easy.
Oh, you should put a motor on that.
Yeah, really. That would be great.
Oh, I did set a timer, so that's the 2 minutes.
Good.
And so that's done. And to serve it, so you're ready to serve it. So you serve up, there are 3 of us at this house, and we usually eat this entire thing as a side dish. Nice thing you also want to have sliced up your lemon. So after you put it on the plate, after you plate it up, squeeze some lemon on it. I got out of order.
Okay.
Putting that back.
Okay.
After that 2 minutes, that last 2 minutes with the lemon zest and the garlic, and you turn off the heat.
Okay.
Then you put in the parsley.
Oh, the parsley. Yes.
Yeah, we got talking about parsley slicers, and I got distracted. But so you dump all that parsley in, and you mix it all up. So that parsley just kind of gets cooked a little bit from the residual heat that you've been using. And if I can. Yeah.
Wow, that
It is
looks beautiful.
there. So it's all parsleyed up. Now you serve it up, plate it up, however much, you could eat this whole thing yourself because it's really good. Then you squeeze your lemon over it.
Okay.
And then your toasted breadcrumbs go on top of that. So that's a pretty generous serving of breadcrumbs. But when you're done, it looks like that. And it tastes
That's
like
beautiful. That's so beautiful. I wish I could stop by your house and have that on my way over to Fielding's to have some peanut brittle. So
Yeah, this is a way better dessert than peanut brittle.
Oh, well, yeah, in some ways it probably is. Matt, thank you so very much. That looks great, and I look forward to actually making that later this evening. So,
Thanks. Yeah, watch it in slow motion and try not to make the same mistakes I made as I was doing it now. Don't get distracted.
thank you so much.
Thank
Okay, so Hitch, who do we have coming up next out of the magic hat? Hitch? Hello? Well, seem to be having a little bit of a sound problem here, and I'm not sure. Okay, we're on. Well, let's see. What else can I talk to you about? Well, we do have a couple more comic Cookman's Theater.
Oh, very good. This is the morning. We'll go with coffee. All right, here.
Okay, water. Ciao.
Well, hi. I decided to make something real special for you today. I thought I brought it. Thought it was in here somewhere.
Oh God, Joan, you.
Oh, I forgot. Here. There we go.
Oh, here it is.
Deviled eggs.
Oh, yum.
Okay, so much fun.
Cool.
Now, here's the things you're going to need. You're going to need eggs, of course. You're going to need some mayonnaise.
Okay.
You're going to need some mustard. You're going to...
What's
I
that?
don't know how that got there.
Oh,
We got salt and pepper and a few more spices that we'll go over later.
okay.
So, first things we need to do is boil the eggs. But boiling eggs is extremely hard. So we're just going to skip that part. And look, they're already boiled.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think one of them is. Here's a cool thing. If you don't know which egg is boiled, you actually put them on the table and spin them. And the one that spins faster is the hard-boiled egg. And this one is not. Although you could just crack it open and see, but this way is more fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel the egg, so otherwise it's a little crunchy.
Okay.
And you want to make sure you get that membrane off.
Yes.
That's always the tricky part. Now these are medium-sized eggs. I like to use medium-sized eggs because they're also really good for an egg bag routine, if you so desire. Here we go. So we're just gonna peel that off. You're gonna try not to get a lot of the egg part because that's really bad because then it opens the yolk and that's not a very good peeled egg. So I'll tell you what, I just happen to have a peeled egg right here.
Oh, fun.
Perfect. Next, we need to cut open the egg. So you're going to want to get yourself a nice sharp knife.
Ah, something subtle.
This is going to be great. All right, and then we're just going to cut that right down the middle, right there. Oh, very good. And then we don't need that. Now we have the two halves. We're going to take that middle part out very carefully. Some would say extremely carefully.
But
Very good. And as you can see, the yolks are coming out. Which brings me to an important question. Do you know why some eggs have white shells and some eggs have brown shells?
why, yes, I actually do. It depends on the hens that lay them.
No, silly. It's to keep the yolks from falling out.
Oh.
For those of you interested in more jokes like that, I got that from the Encyclopedia of Egg Magic. Oh boy.
Well, I got from Better Homes and Gardens.
Right here on a tray. I just happen to have some more eggs that have been cut in half. And so we're just going to place those right there. And we're going to put those aside for later. Then we're going to take a fork and mash up those yolks. I'm going to put that so you can see. You mash up the yolks first. It keeps the salt from clumping together and making some bites bland and some bites extremely uncomfortable. Now we just take a little salt, a little pepper. Always add a little, because you can always add more, but you can't add less. That's an important lesson in cooking, especially if you don't measure. So now we've got them all mashed up. Next comes the mayo. Got it straight from the clinic. I'm going to take about a heaping tablespoonish, maybe a little more, just like so. And then a little squirt of mustard. You want the yellow mustard. I have the generic brand because I'm fancy.
I have my yellow mustard also, but it's filled with pancake batter.
Well, don't add pancake batter to your deviled eggs because that will taste like the devil. We're going to take our mixer.
Yeah.
And then the walrus said, what about the octopus? So, we have some mixture right here. Next, very important, is our secret ingredient. Now this could scare some people, but don't let it scare you. It is curry powder. It's very important to put the curry powder in, especially if you're performing for important people. It'll help curry you favor. Now, as with everything else, you do not want to add too much, just a little, because the secret is you want to taste something, but you don't want it to taste like curry.
Right.
Just a couple little.
But see, I had your deviled eggs at somebody's party, and I never knew what the secret ingredient was, and they're delicious.
Shh! Don't tell. Shh. And that's what he said. So, now that that's done, you want to give it a little taste, of course, just to make sure you didn't put too much in. If you put too much curry, go back to step 1, boil some eggs, add more eggs, and it'll help dilute the mixture. Now it's time for filling.
Oh, do you pipe it?
Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You can do old school, where you take a little scoop in your spoon and you place it inside the egg. It's passable, good for your normal events. But if you want to get fancy, I like to use a pastry bag. So I just place it in a cup like so. It makes it easier to fill. You're going to scoop a really big amount. And you're going to get it as far down as possible. Don't worry if you spill. I have dogs clean that up later. And so you just put that in the pastry bag like so. Squeeze it on down to the bottom. And then all you have to do is squeeze it out, and you've got some lovely, beautiful filled eggs like so.
Oh, Joan, I'm so impressed.
But wait, we're not done yet.
Oh, wow.
Now we have to make it fancier.
Alrighty.
And the way we make it fancier is we add a little bit of paprika. Not as much for flavor as for prettiness. And we're just going to take that, we're going to just sprinkle it a little bit on the top. And once you have that done, it looks gourmet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, have a drink with me, even though it's not quite 5 in the afternoon yet.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. My name is Joan Ducour.
Thank you, darling. I'll talk to you later. We're putting together quite a nice meal here. So
We've had to go to extreme measures here at Studio Central just to get things working. Hopefully you can hear me. I do have, although hard to believe, the top hat. And we are going to reach inside. Our next guest on Winston's Comedy Kitchen is none other than Nick DeFate. And I have a feeling that you're DeFate is your aunt. Nick around, let's bring up Nick and Steve.
Hello. You guys see me?
Yep.
Hello. We can see you.
With that fancy suit.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to cook casually and cook comfortably. I think that's important. Yeah. So
Tastes like crap.
are we?
You're coming up, Nick. You're coming up.
Can't hear you guys. Are you guys there? Cutting out a little bit, but okay. Well, if you guys, we'll just get into it.
That chatter's interesting.
I originally was going to make a cucumber salad that I like. Really simple, fast cucumber salad.
Oh yeah.
I'm under kind of weird conditions and not in the house I was originally in. But so now all we have left is hot dogs. But I figured you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this, and also I actually have a special guest chef. I know you already have Michael Goudot, and he's the pancake guy, #1 pancake guy. But we actually have the #1 waffle magician in the world here today, Rudy Cody.
Hey!
Rudy Cody in the house?
Surprise!
Somebody.
Waffles and pancakes. Just wait. Something else. Okay, we're gonna do. So we got it simmered down. Okay, so all we have is hot dogs, but that's fine. I'll show you because you can make these, which are fun Hotdogs Snails.
And those can't be made with hot dogs.
And yeah, well, I'll show you. So it's not as easy as you may think. So let's come down to the counter. So what we've got is you're going to want probably 2, maybe 3, and you're going to want to bifurcate one of them. So split it down the middle, right? And you're going to take and make little perforations down the spine of your dog like this.
Okay.
So now you take another piece that's hot dog with shape, right? And take your shell, put it over the top, lay down the perforations along the edges, right? Want to get that correct. And then you take a party pick, stick it through there. Take another
Party pick?
yes, because these aren't. We under quarantine we couldn't find Q-tips, so all we have are not Q-tips. We also have no test kits here, but so we've got one party pick. So when we cut this. You want to cut this at an angle so that when you stick this in here, it's got its little shell. And then the accoutrement, when you cook it, you got your little eyes and your antennas, and this is the only way I can eat hot dogs. And by the way, if you don't have access to a full kitchen or an oven or a microwave, you can always. The nice thing about hot dogs is that they're fully cooked. And again, there's other variations. You've got hot dog people, maybe if you're lonely and you need some companionship in these trying times. We also have, this is a classic, the Hot Dog Octopus.
Oh, I love that.
Music. So that's what we've got. Rudy, do you have a second recipe? Rudy's
Sure.
got a quick one.
I'm not going to do it with the hot dogs.
I'm going to move all the hot dogs.
You did that. Okay, this is we're sorry. Yeah. Hey guys, how you doing? So
Good.
Fantastic.
It's so tall, Rudy. You're on camera.
It's a little more complicated than what you guys were doing, but this is invented by that famous Spanish magician, Cardini.
Oh, not necessarily.
They're Cardini tostadas, and they're fantastic. Now, what you need is some. This is not beef. I know this is vegetarian today, right?
Manwich.
So this is manwich, so it's okay. This is tostada shells from Mexico, and tomatoes, onions. You cut them up with a knife, and cheese. Okay. So the onion starts like this, but then you use the knife and you can cut it up into smaller pieces. So you take right there. Thank you, Nick. So you take one tostada shell, and these are traditional scoops, and then you take some tostada meat, just like this, with some little bits, some cheese, just a little bit, okay, some onions, and a little bit of lettuce, not too much, tomatoes, just like this. And you pop it in the oven.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we follow you, dude?
Okay. You give it a couple minutes. And that's perfect. Look how perfect that is. Little tostada that
Wow.
you can, yeah, isn't that fantastic? And look, you can take sour cream. A little bit. And that's for you, Nick.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, birthday tostada. Love it. Thank you so much for dropping in, Rudy. And thank you, Nick. I'm so impressed that you didn't end up doing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I had to put my glasses on because I couldn't see exactly what was happening. I wanted to get some contacts, but unfortunately my prescription had run out, so I had to go with glasses for a little while. So, who do we have coming up now?
Guess what? I have a camera almost working.
All right.
And I've got a top hat here. How about that?
Right.
Inside of the top hat, well, we're down there actually. But if you could bring up the gentleman by the name of Michael Goudot. Something
Yay,
about Michael Goudot.
How are you guys?
We're done.
Bring him over. We got Michael.
How's it going, guys? Hard to be short enough and see all the stuff. Hi, how's it going?
Excellent. I've got my frying pan heating up.
Fantastic. You're shooting for 350 degrees, and I've got one of these, which is a thermometer that you can just point at it. My pan's at 345, a little COVID check out there.
Well, you're so high tech. I just got a what do we call it? Electric frying pan. So it's got the dial.
So kind of a medium high heat, 350 degrees. I'm not going to teach you guys how to make pancakes because, let's face it, you just buy a box and add water. The really important part, mix it in with the water and then stir it with a whisk for a long time so that there are no lumps in the batter. Now, real chefs will tell you don't stir it for a long time when you're making pancakes because the pancakes will be tough. Now, I don't know how tough a pancake can really get, but that's what I've been told. But I mix it up until there are no lumps because I'm going to put it in a bottle like this. This is just a ketchup bottle, and I have trimmed off like a 1/4 inch of the top so that the hole is a little larger than normal. When my kids were little, I was trying to figure out ways to get them interested in breakfast. They weren't very excited. And I started by making just the letters from their names. So I would make a J for my son or something like that. But then, while doing that, I discovered a really weird effect. And I'm going to show it to you. If your pan's at 350 degrees, you can do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 eyes and a smile, like that. That's what I'm doing. You can kind of see it, just a little smiley face, right? And I'm just going to leave that on there by itself cooking while we go on to the next part right here. What I decided to make for my kids were pictures out of pancakes. And like I said, it started with their letters, and then I started getting a little more complicated. And this is kind of the next step in making a complicated pancake. I made a whole pile of little tiny pancakes, just slightly different sizes. And then if you line them up on the plate in just the right way, I'm going to show you, I've made here a couple of little tiny eyes and some antennas. And I'll show you what it turns into when you put them in place. It's just a beautiful, super simple. I lost his smile. I had a smile for him somewhere, but his smile is gone.
Aww.
That is just tiny round pancakes. There is no skill involved. The only skill is being able to stack them up in different sizes. And that's a super simple one that you can do right now for your kids today, and you're not going to screw it up by any means. Now, our smiley face has been cooking for a while. Now that it's been on there for a minute, I'm going to pour regular batter right over the top of it, just like that. And I'm going to put it back on the grill, and we're going to see what happens. Because of the Maillard reaction, that's a brownie. It's cooking. This is the Maillard reactions. The batter that's been on there longer, and this is not rocket science, the batter that was on there longer is darker than the batter that has just gone on. And so, you'll end up with different colors. Now, earlier I told you 350 degrees, and there's a reason for that. You see the texture on this pancake? That is a pancake that has been cooked to hot. If it's too hot, it boils up, and the steam raises the pancake batter off of the pan, and so it doesn't end up smooth. If you cook it at a regular, a little bit lower temperature, you get these perfectly smooth, beautiful pancakes. And that's pretty cool. Now, what we've done is we've added that on top of our smiley face, and now, when we flip that pancake over, we have a smiley face right there burnt into the pancake. And you can do that with your kid's name. You have to write it backwards, or any picture you want, any smiley face, any eyes, someone's name, and it turns out to be this really cool little pancake picture, which is that, you can write somebody's name on it backwards, and then when you serve it to them, take it out this way, and as you put it on their plate, flip it over, imagine their surprise when their name has magically appeared on the other side of the pancake. So, I'm going to show you a couple more super simple pancakes you can make without my dog. Like some super simple pancakes that you can make without a lot of skill. This one, I told you, there's the worms out of the way. Now this is a set of pieces. And this is a way to do pancake art that if you mess something up, you can go back and make just one piece. This is all going to assemble into a monkey. And you can see most of them are just regular round pancakes. Some of them are pancakes where I cook one side and not the other so that it's a light color. But let me show you what happens. I don't know if you'll be able to see it as I assemble him. Let me try it right here. Now see this? There's his back legs. There's his tail. There's his front legs. There's his body. There's his head. The monkeys have kind of a funny little mouth on them, so let's put them like this. These are just a couple of little tiny nostrils that I made out of tiny bits of pancake. I can't get it to stay on. Stay on right there. And here are his regular eyes. Here, little extra cooking, are the pupils. Oops, stay up there. You stick a couple of little ears on him right here. And all of a sudden you've got, whoops, a little pancake monkey.
That is so adorable.
Other than his really horrible effect of his eyes falling off, that's pretty good. But you can, if you're making this, and you mess up on the size of an eye or a leg or something else, you can rebuild it. And it is, again, it's built entirely out of just little pancake pieces. And so there's not much skill. There's his front legs, there's his back legs, there's his tail. None of them are incredibly skilled, but you come up with really beautiful, cool pancakes. And
it's like Play-Doh that you can eat.
Yeah, this is the book. Barnes & Noble printed this 10 years ago. The rights have reverted back to me. You can get it now on Amazon as The Pancake Project if you like it. Let me show you one more quick one. This is kind of most bang for the buck pancake. One of the things I discovered was that pancake batter holds dye really well. So you can see how bright and colorful those guys are, right? And they turn out beautiful. Now, you don't need that. This is my pancake version of Edvard Munch's The Scream.
Wow.
And this is done entirely with the timing the same as the smiley face. Just by putting the batter on at different times, you get different colors. So I decided which parts would be dark, and I did those first. And then the next shade of darkness, until I came up with something that looked like this. Now, I will tell you that I ate 3,000 pancakes before I got the one that looks like this. But I made a whole bunch of different art pancakes. Here's another one for when your friends say, I'm tired of pancakes. Everything on this plate is pancakes.
Wow, my
Next, I would read this and I would, wait a minute, that's pancakes. Once you start working with food coloring, you can get crazy. This is the tacos and beans. Everything on that plate is pancakes, including the tomato, including the taco shells, the beans, all pancakes with colors. Now, I'm going to show you kind of the most, like I said, the most bang for the buck. This is green, and I am going to make just a big asterisk. I don't know if you can see them on there. There we go, without it running off. And then I've got a little bottle of red. On the ends of a couple of those arms, I'm going to put just a spot of the red. Ding, ding, ding. You can see just a little bit of red on there. Now I'm going to cook this. When you're cooking pancakes with colored batters, go lower than 350. If you go higher than 350, they brown and the color doesn't show up quite as well. So go with a little lower color, a little lower temperature, and they'll stay green. So let me show you what I'm making here if I can get them done.
No, when you go lower, you just go by the same when they're bubbling.
Yeah, I just let them bubble through until they're not shiny. When they're not shiny, they're usually cooked.
Oh, okay.
This is the bottom layer there of a Christmas tree. I have progressively smaller asterisks.
Oh, that's so cool.
With a little bit of red on the end of a couple of branches on each one. And it will build its way up to a Christmas tree.
Oh, Michael, that's so clever.
And it's a three-dimensional pancake.
That's great.
Fantastic. And then you add just a little bit of snow. I don't know if you can see it coming in there. And you end up with a beautiful Christmas tree breakfast. So there's pancake pictures. If you want to learn more of the details, it's on the book on the Pancake Project.
Oh, Michael, that was wonderful, wonderful. I love it.
Weren't those great?
Oh, I wasn't going to hear. I want you to see.
Okay, so I have a couple more that I don't think you haven't seen yet. This is a three-dimensional snail. I don't know if we can pull him back up. He's not on the screen in front of me. There he is. There's my three-dimensional snail. And then you can see the syrup. When I made this one at home, I ran the syrup across the plate and all the way across the table, so that he had a snail all the way up to that point. This one's called Lego My Eggo. Hand with an Eggo waffle. They're not all for kids. There's a little bit of a self-portrait. And then I started experimenting with just drips. And that's just a drip fish. And that's just pancake batter. And this one, I don't know if it will sit up right. This is a drip tree.
That's wonderful.
So,
a little tree of life.
A bunch of cool stuff in there. Yeah, that was my Jackson Pollock period. I just let it drip.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. I do want to show you my pancake art, though.
All right, see what you made.
Well, I wasn't quite as successful as you.
Yeah.
I made it too big, so my spatula wasn't wide enough. So flip it and split.
You know what the good news about the pancake art is even if you screw it up, it's still a pancake and it's delicious.
Still really yummy. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it. Wonderful idea. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. The bottom of my heart. We have seen everybody else. This was a dream of mine for a very long time, and I am very grateful that all of these talented people came together and made it a reality for me. I look forward to doing my next one. I especially want to thank all the talent today and Rudy for dropping in. That was just a wonderful surprise. And I also want to thank my technical department, Mr. Doug Parker, and my co-producer and co-host and also tech guy, Elliot Hitchcock. Without these two gentlemen, this would not have been a reality. I thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. Stay safe.
Eddie won't be around no more.